On Echolink, VK6BQQ. Is there a net on? I don't mean to interrupt.
Amateur radio repeater V.
VK6BQQ VE3MIS today. Hey Reg, it's Brian. Yes, I believe there is. I believe it's VE3XVH tonight. It might be, it looks like it's almost the golden moment. Over to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just see our friend in from Mesquite, Texas there, and just tuning in, so didn't want to interrupt, but wanted to say hello to Bob in Texas. And I believe you were saying this VA3HES Mark is a pilot. Is that correct? Over.
VK6BQQ VA3A today. Reg, actually, I didn't know that. I'm not sure about that. I did say that the net was, I think it's VE3XVH tonight, but as far as the pilot, don't know. I don't know. But your friend from Texas there, Bob, oh my goodness, say hello to him for me. I haven't spoken to him in a long time. It's just, I'm glad to hear he's there. Over to you.
VK6BQQ returning, and I see Brian's in here, so we don't interrupt the net. We'll let him get started. Good morning, Brian.
VK6BQQ VE3XVH. Good morning, Reg. How are things with you?
Well, I'm not sure. I just got up here. I was watching movies last night, so consequently, getting up late, but the coffee's on. Took a deep breath, didn't fall over. The sun's shining, so I'm on the right side. Other than that, we'll get back to you, sir. VE3XVH VK6BQQ. Good evening, sir.
Okay, Reg, all good to hear. Yeah, we'll be talking to you shortly. I'm going to get the net started in a couple of seconds, so if everybody wants to stand by, we'll start the net. Good evening. This is Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel. My name is Brian, and I'm your controller this evening for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. This net is available on the club's VHF repeater and Echolink between 20:30 and approximately 21:45 hours, local time in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. It's also streamed live on YouTube, where archives of previous nets can be found. To participate in the net on the VE3MIS VHF repeater, tune to 145.430 megahertz with a negative 600 kilohertz offset and a 103.5 hertz tone. To participate on Echolink, connect to the TechLink conference, node number 9229, and to listen on YouTube and comment in the, to listen on YouTube and comment in the text box, search for the club's YouTube channel with the search term VE3MIS YouTube. If you would like to find out more about the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club, please visit our website at www.ve3mis.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra, Charlie Alpha, and our email address is ve3mis@rac.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra, at Romeo Alpha Charlie, Charlie Alpha. The purpose of this net is to pass news and views along to members and visitors of the club. It also provides experience to volunteer operators in net and emergency operating procedures. All check-ins are welcome, and we especially invite non-members to join in. The Mississauga Amateur Radio Club meets virtually via Zoom conferencing software on the second and fourth Thursday of each month. Our meetings emphasize comradeship and learning and are open to guests and visitors. To learn how to join in, see our website for virtual meetings. Non-members who wish to attend should email VE3MIS at rac.ca to obtain instructions for virtual admission. I would also like to add that the club will also be having some in-person meetings once a month. So it will be the fourth week of the month. So the next club meeting will be not this Thursday, but the Thursday after. And there will be an in-person meeting. It will also be streamed on Zoom. So you can attend in person, or you can still attend via Zoom. The location is the Thomas A. Beckett Church Hall at 3535 South Common Court in Mississauga, near the intersection of Erin Mills Parkway and South Common Court. The only announcement that I have is there is an Aries meeting, a Mississauga Aries meeting on Zoom this Thursday, beginning at 7:30, and I'll be sending out the details for that meeting on the group's IO, so the login information will be available there. This net will be conducted in 2 rounds, a check-in round and a 7-3 round. During the check-in round, check-ins will be called in 2 broad groups of traffic: short-time check-ins and general check-ins. Emergency check-ins will be taken at any time. Sometimes mobile, RF, and Echolink check-ins may be called by themselves to reduce the risk of doubling. Please listen carefully and check in with the group that best matches your circumstances. Finally, avoid transmitting more than 1 minute without dropping to prevent system timeouts. Again, your controller for tonight's net is Brian. My call sign is VE3XBH. When checking in, please announce your call sign using phonetics, followed by your first name. And to start this evening, are there any short-time check-ins? That means you may be in a rush and cannot check in later. Please come now. Okay, nothing heard for short-time check-ins. So we'll move to general check-ins. Any general check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Come now, please, with your call sign and your first name.
Victor Echo 3, Delta Bravo November, Don from Conberg.
Victor Alpha 3, Tango Mike Bravo, Thomas.
Bravo Foxtrot, name is Barry.
Victor Echo 3, Delta Bravo November, Don.
Okay, we'll hold it right there. I got 3 stations in there that I heard. I heard Barry in there. Barry, I didn't get all your call sign, but I'll catch that up with you in a minute. I heard Thomas in there, VA3 TMB, and top of the list I heard Don, VE3 DBN. Don, you're up first. Go ahead, please.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been on the net. But just a brief explanation. I had to sell my ICOM 7100 that had given me UHF and VHF in order to buy an ICOM 7300. And that worked out very well. And so now I'm using my handheld to get into the net. And I'm just coming direct from Kleinberg on UHF. Or is it VHF, I'm sorry. And that seems to be working very well. We've been kind of slow this summer, as most people have. We've survived well. We're all double vaccinated and all that sort of thing. Spent a lot of time sitting out by the pool because I couldn't go anywhere else anyway. And we're all sort of enjoying the gradual relaxation of the COVID rules. My granddaughter was in her first year of high school, and that's been kind of interesting getting her there. And of course, my daughter is the vice principal, so she's been back to her school, and all the headaches that they've had as well. But beyond that, it's been a good summer, and we're here, and I'm glad to be back. Back to you.
VE3 DVN, VE3XBH. Well, Don, it's good to hear from you again. You're coming into the repeater okay. There's a slight bit of noise in the background, but no problem copying you at all into the repeater. I did try and listen on direct, and you were pretty much buried in the noise, so I couldn't copy you from my location on direct, but certainly no problem getting into the repeater, Don. And yeah, it was a hot summer, a good time to be by the pool, I guess. So all good there. So good to hear you again, Don. Will you be around for the 7-3 round?
Don here. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try.
Hey, Don, we'll give you a shout on the 7-3 round. Thanks again for checking in with us. Okay, with that, let's go to Thomas, VA3TMB. Thomas, come on in, please.
Good evening, Brian and everyone else on the net. Brian, thank you for running this net. I'd like to start off by asking for a signal report, and the reason being that I moved my antenna over the summer to what I think is a better place. And if you let me know what the signal sounds like, that would be great. Back to you.
VA3TMB, VE3XBH. Well, Thomas, you're getting into the repeater okay. No problem there. I did try you on direct. My location is Cosra and Queensway. And you're pretty noisy to me direct. I could hear you in there. Pretty difficult to copy, but I could hear you on direct. But certainly no problem getting into the repeater, Thomas. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. VE3XBH from VA3TMB. Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. For a while, I was not able to get on the repeater simply because I put some LED string lights and they ran close to the antenna, and I think that messed up the radiation pattern. So I couldn't hit the repeater for a long time. And now that I've moved it, I said I should get back on the net. And here I am. Thanks for checking the signal report and also checking me on reverse. I did the same, and I can copy you. There's a little bit of noise, but I can definitely copy you. You are obviously putting out a much better signal than I am. What I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to check how much power I'm putting out because I don't know what I set it to. That will be good. All right. I'm enjoying the meetings, online meetings. It is one less thing to worry about, not getting there on time and all that. So it's working very well for me. And I think last week's meeting was great, and I'm looking forward to more meetings. Back to you. This is VA3TMB to Net Control.
Okay, Thomas. Well, that sounds great. Glad to hear you in here again, and And the online meetings make it kind of handy, especially for those who might be getting home from work and that sort of thing, and it saves a little bit of the rush. And also any concerns with COVID, it seems to work out pretty good. So, Thomas, thanks for checking in. Are you going to be around for the 7-3 round?
Roger. Yes, I do plan to be around, Brian. Please give me a shout, and if I'm still here, I will definitely come back to you. Over.
VE3 TMB, VE3XBH. Okay, Thomas, thanks for checking in. We'll give you a shout on the 7-3. Okay, with that, let's go to Barry. And Barry, I'm sorry, I didn't get your call sign. If you could give that to me again, please.
VE3XBH and the net. This is VE3WBF. Hello, everybody. This is the first time I've been on the net since we pretty much shut it down in the springtime. Very quiet for me on summer. It was with COVID. I wasn't actually doing a lot of radio work. School has started, so college has actually started, and I'm working with a hybrid course, which is lectures online and in-person labs, and it's so that's been the online stuff is very, very interesting. I finally got to the point where I'm connecting with the students. So that's me for today, and it's one and gone for me. I won't be for the 73 round. So back to you, VE3WBF. Over.
Okay, Barry, VE3WBF. This is VE3XBH. Got you in there, and all good. Good to hear you again after the summer break. Always good to hear everybody in there, and that good to hear that you're getting online and things are working out for you. So all good there. Barry, thanks for checking in with us. Okay, that brings us to the bottom of the list that I have right now. So, are there any other check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club? Please come now.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Delta Yankee.
Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Yankee.
Victor Echo 3 Whiskey Yankee Delta, Peter.
Okay, I copied 4 stations in there. I got Peter in there, I got Kevin in there, Mark in there, and another Kevin. So I think the first one was VA3 KDY. Kevin, come on in.
VE3MIS
VE3 XBH and the net. VA3 KDY. Just dropping in to say hello, and haven't been here for a while. Obviously, you're just starting up, and I mean a little while longer than that. So I just want to say hello, and it's good to hear you in there. And thanks for picking me up. I will not be around for the second round. I'm heading for the horizontal position, and we'll catch you all later. 7-3 to everybody. VA3 KDY back to you.
VA3 KDY, VE3 XBH. Well, Kevin, good to hear you back in again after the summer. Nice to hear you. Good to hear that all's well, and that you're checking in, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. Again, thanks for checking in. It's always good to hear from you. Okay, with that, let's go to VA3 HES. Mark, go ahead, please, Mark.
VE3XBH, VA3 HES. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be back doing the live stream. Sorry I missed last week. I was away in Switzerland working a live event. It was quite nice to be in front of a big crowd, making loud things louder again. Everything is well here at home, and we are live on YouTube again. Good evening, Gary. I just saw you pop up on the chat. So don't forget, folks, every Tuesday night we're live streaming. So just visit VE3MIS on YouTube and look under the Tuesday Night Net tab for all the archived live streams. Okay, back to you, Brian.
VA3HES, VE3XBH. Well, Mark, good to hear from you. And I was going to ask if you were back in the country, but obviously you are, so that's good. And hope everything went well with the show. And thanks again for doing the live stream on YouTube. We kind of missed the last one, but that's okay. These things happen. Anything else before we move along, Mark?
Not much else to report. Peter VA3ELE just left my home QTH to grab my lithium-ion battery pack for the second half of the 10 gigahertz and up contest this coming weekend. And if I have enough time, I may actually grab his backup 10 gig rig and work a little bit of the microwave myself. That's it for now, Brian. Back to you.
Is that correct?
Roger. Yes, I will be around for the 7-3 round.
Okay, Mark. We'll give you a shout then. VA3HES, VE3XBH. We'll give you a shout on the 7-3. Okay. Next one I have on the list is VA3KKY, and I believe it's Kevin. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah. I actually needed my screen reader to tell me I'm on because that long tail is very confusing, but no one on Echolink's really here. So when they do get here, like when the ham conference gets here, they're probably going to complain about it. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm in. I'm here. And that's good that everything's streamed live. It's one way I know how to get on YouTube. There you go. So how about it? Otherwise, a lot of crazy stuff going on. People throwing stones and stuff at the PM. And then they got the California election, too, because I'm hearing about it from some of my friends from Sacramento. You know, they're I keep wondering if I call it like a recollection election or whatever. So they're on some totally other stuff. And, yep, this weather's not too bad. They said today we were supposed to get like a major heat wave that was supposed to go up. It did. But, I think we still have the reminders that fall is definitely in effect. It's getting earlier every day. The light is disappearing earlier every day. Okay, please keep me on the list. I will be here. So I will turn it back to Net. And wow, what an impressive RF check-in. Really nice today. A lot of it coming from RF. Back to you.
VA3KKY, VE3XBH. Okay, Kevin, good to hear you. Again, after the summer break, nice to hear everybody. Good to hear you. And yeah, some crazy stuff has been going on. Well, there's crazy stuff going on all over the world, it seems. So I guess we're no different to anybody else. But Kevin, thanks for checking in. I will give you a shout on the 7-3 round. Okay, with that, let's go to Peter, VE3WYD, I believe it was. Go ahead, Peter.
Hi, Brian and all on net. This is Peter, VE3WYD from Brampton. Good to hear everybody's doing well. Everybody returned safely from their trip. And this weekend, I think there's a ham fest up in Barrie. I might be headed up that way Saturday morning. All is well. Back to you, Brian, VE3XBH. VE3WYD.
VE3WYD, VE3XBH. Okay, Peter. Good to hear you again. Thanks for checking in. What was I going to say? I just forgot. Anyways, Peter, thanks for checking in with us. Good to hear you that all is well. And are you going to be around for the 7-3?
Yes, Brian, I'll stick around for the 7-3. I'm listening, and I'll stick around. Over.
Okay, Peter, we'll give you a shout on the 7-3. Thanks for checking in, and we'll give you a shout a little bit later. All right, with that, we're at the bottom of the list, and I'm going to leave a long break at the end of this, so if anybody wants to check in on Echolink, I'll leave plenty of time for you to try and get in, but are there any more general check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Come now, please.
Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Bravo Foxtrot, recheck, over.
Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha, Brian.
Okay, I'm just going to hold it there for a second. I'm just going to take Barry with the recheck. Go ahead, Barry.
On Echolink, Victor Kilo 6, Bravo, Quebec, Quebec.
This is VE3WBF. When's the next club meeting that's being held at the church? Over.
Barry, the next meeting at the church, it's not this Thursday, it's the Thursday after. So it's a week this Thursday. And I don't have the calendar in front of me right now, so I don't have the date available, but it's a week Thursday. QSL?
Okay, I believe that's September the 23rd. So, and it's at 7:30, I take it. So you might see me there. This is VE3WBF, over.
VE3WBF, VE3XBH. Okay, Barry. Yes, 7:30 at the church, and it also, just a reminder to everybody, it will be live streamed, or it'll be a Zoom meeting also. So you can check into it either way. Barry, thanks for that. Okay, I heard two stations in there. I heard VA3AZA and VK6BQQ. I'm just going to continue here. Are there any more check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? And I'm going to leave a long pause at the end.
Well, if I can get in here and get this silly thing to work, thanks for the long pause. Kilo Foxtrot 5, Hotel Golf Uniform. My name is Bob, North Central Texas. It's good to hear you, Ryan, and everyone else.
Okay, we'll take it from there. I heard KF5HQ Bob, VK6BQQ Reg, and top of that one was VA3AZA. Brian, come on in, Brian.
VE3XBH, VA3AZA, and good evening, Brian, and everyone else on the net tonight. Thanks for taking the net, Brian. Not too much new here. I was just noting, I was surprised today. I can see that there's actually a tornado warning for Midland. No, it's not a warning, it's a watch. For Midland, Ontario. So we've got a little bit of unstable weather in the area. I don't know if it's reached down to Mississauga. But anyway, just listening along, I'll be here for 7-3. VA3AZA, over to net control.
VA3AZA, VE3XBH. Okay, Brian, Thanks for checking in with us. And yeah, I had noticed that also. I have the weather app, and it gave me the alert that there was a watch in and around Midland and up to. Originally, I think it was up to Perry Sound, but I think they've brought it back down a little bit. But we'll just have to keep our eyes on the weather, I guess. Brian, I guess you're going to be around for 7-3?
Deck control, affirmative. I'll be here for 7-3, Brian. Over to you.
VE3AZA, VE3XPH. Okay, Brian, we'll give you a shout on the 7-3. With that, let's go to West Australia and Reg, VK6, BQQ. Come on in, Reg.
VE3XPH in the group, VK6, BQQ. Good morning from West Australia. Yeah, I'm just talking about weather. I'm on the radar here locally, and we've got quite a big forest fire on the go, about 200 kilometers, I guess, northeast of Perth. So we're just sort of watching to see what that's all about. But yeah, good to hear everyone in here. I had a question, and I think Mark is still with us. He was on the tarmac apparently last weekend, so I suspect he was a passenger more than a pilot. So maybe he can remark on that if he would.
VE3HES, VE3XPH. Mark, did you hear that from Reg?
VA3HES returning. Sorry, I had my headphones off. The wife was here talking to me. Reg, could you repeat that?
VA3HES, VK6BQQ. I believe last weekend you were on the tarmac in Toronto, and I was just curious, are you just a passenger or a pilot?
I was just a passenger, and funny enough, I was stuck on the tarmac because I was awaiting for my flight to Switzerland to depart, and someone managed to jam the jetway into the engine, which led to a 4-hour delay while they found another machine for us to fly to Zurich.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I was just wondering if you were a passenger or a pilot, as I was going to invite you to our Flying Pig Net on Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard on this very network. But all good. It sounds like your trip finally got going, and you're back safe and sound. And a good morning to Bob in Texas. Back to net, VK6BQQ Australia. Good morning.
VK6, BQQ, VE3XPH. Okay, Reg, thanks for that, and we'll give you a shout on the 7-3. And let's go to Bob, KF5HGU. Bob, it's good to hear you. Come on in and say hi.
Yeah, B3XBH, KF5HGU. Well, it's good to be here. And hi, Reg. It's funny. I just got logged on myself, and then there you were. I got a big sign up in here that says, remember MIS Tuesday night at 7:30, because I've been trying to remember to log into this, even though you weren't having your official net. I knew somebody around, but anyway, I wouldn't remember it again until I woke up on Wednesday morning. Nothing much going on here. I think about the same time COVID did is when I got my cancer diagnosis, and so I've been, along with COVID, dealing with some whatever else is going on, but doing real good other than a little short breath. Doing a shorter breath now, and don't stay up much later. Yeah, it's difficult to me. I don't know whether I'll be here to 73 around or not, because it's getting to where 8 o'clock is about my normal bedtime. I've enjoyed it listening to everybody, and I'll be hanging around for a while. B3XPH, K5HG.
you, VE3XBH. Bob, it's always good to hear from you, yeah, sometimes I get pretty tired at 8 o'clock too, but anyways, Bob, always a pleasure to hear from you, and by all means, check in any time, and we'll be talking again, I'm sure, and I hope things are doing okay with you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, they are doing good. I can't complain a bit, other than I do get a little short of breath. I was having some trouble with some of my therapy. Seemed like they'd give me therapy and I'd run fever. We'd stop that and get that all squared away. Anyway, right now we're just kind of on standby and see if we can avoid fever and everything. But we're doing great. We're doing all right. Can't complain. And Brian and Reg and everybody else on the net, good to get in and check. And I'm going to leave my big sign up, so I'll remember. Hopefully I can be here next week. Y'all take care. This is Kilo Foxtrot 5's Hotel Golf Uniform. Bob, North Central, $73.
KO5 HTU VE3XBH. Okay, Bob, good to hear from you, and glad to hear things are okay with you. And we look forward to hearing from you again, so keep that sign up. Bob, thanks again for checking in. Okay, with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Are there any more check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Come now, please.
Amateur Radio Repeater VE3.
Victor Kilo 6, Victor Kilo 6, Golf India Alpha, VK6 GIA, Peter, Byford, Western Australia. Good morning.
Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary in Toronto.
Okay, I heard two more stations in there. I heard VE3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary, and VK6, Golf India Alpha, Peter. Come on in, Peter.
Yes, good morning from VK6 GIA. Good morning to everybody. Good evening, good day, and good day to Reg there, VK6 BQQ. We're only separated by about 5 air miles. I'm a bit further inland. I live right next to a hill range, which is called the Darling Range. It runs north-south, just to the east of Perth, and it is actually a fault line, and inactive. You never can tell. We get a rumble now and again, not in this area, probably more to the end of it, to the north or the south. Anyhow, beautiful morning, coming up to 10 after 9, and it's warming up outside. We've had some beautiful days. We're into springtime. We've had days up into the 80s, which is, very, very pleasant, and things are starting to dry out. Reg and I were talking last night. There is a huge backburn going on about 2 hours north of Perth, near the town of Dandaragan, and it's got to be about 50 to 60 square miles of land that's alight at the moment, but it's hopefully it's all under control. They do burn off this time of the year. From VK6 GIA, have a good day.
VK6 GIA VE3XBH. Okay, Peter. Good to hear you again. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for all that info. And a couple of VK6s, I figured you two couldn't be too far apart. But all good to hear. Peter, are you going to be around for the 7-3?
From VK6 GIA, negative, 7-3s everybody. I've got a few things I need to do.
Okay, Peter, thanks Always good to hear you, and I'm sure we'll hear from you again. VK6GIA, VE3XBH. Okay, with that, let's go to Gary, VE3 GDZ. Gary, come on in.
Good evening there, Brian, and to all on the net with all these various modes. Yeah, I've been chatting on the the YouTube channel, and you can also see the Echolink chat, and you can also get in on radio. It's pretty good. Appreciate having Peter and of course Bob and Reg join us. It's great to hear from them. I've been impressed locally too how people are trying to get back to normal. I've been checking out the local Cineplex theater, all the precautions they have. It's looking more promising, and our club trying to have a first in-person meeting. So we'll see how that goes and report on that in the future. So it's good to see. I think that's because in Ontario our reproductive rate for the virus is down to 1.03. So if we can just get that below 1, the counts will start to go down. And right now, actually, we're fairly lucky. We're pretty stable. At least it's not going up. I did want to mention one special event that's on this weekend. Let me let it drop for a sec. Yeah, in addition to the Simcoe Hamfest up in Barrie this Saturday, there's a military tank weekend out in Oshawa. They have a great museum with a whole bunch of tanks from World War I and II, and they parade them down the streets of Oshawa. No wonder those guys have cracked roadways. But the local ham club is going to be on multiple frequencies looking for check-ins to their special event, which will run all weekend. All you have to do is Google VE3OSH for the North Shore Amateur Radio Club, and you can see the frequencies there. Their repeater is 147120. Anyways, VE3OSH special event weekend. That's about it for now. Count me as one and done. I'm going to try listening in on my scanner. Not sure I'll be able to get back, though. Over to you, Brian. This is Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary in West End of Toronto.
VA3, GDZ, VE3XBH. Okay, Gary, good to hear from you, and thanks for that information. The minute you said that they paraded the tanks down the street, the first thing I thought was, boy, that just must make a mess of the road. But that sounds great, and we'll have to go and check that the special event station out and see if we can make some contacts with them. Sounds good, Gary. Okay, thanks for checking in with us, Gary, and I'll give you a shout, and if you're available, great, and if not, then okay. Thanks again for checking in. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. Are there any other check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Come now, please. Okay, nothing heard there, so I guess we'll head back to the top of the list for the 7-3 round and start off with Don, VE3, DBN. Don, have any final words for the net?
Well, this is Victor Echo 3, Delta Bravo November. Final words, I guess, is goodbye. Thank you very much for running the net. I appreciate it very much. And I just trust that everybody stays healthy and safe, and that they and their families enjoy some health and happiness when the time to come. So on that happy note, and with a great appreciation, I'll pass it back to you and say 73.
VE3, DBN, VE3XBH. Okay, Don, good to hear from you again. Thanks for checking in with us, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. Thanks again for joining us this evening. Okay, let's go to Thomas, VA3, TBM. Thomas, come on in.
Brian, thank you again for running the net. Nice net. Kept listening along. And I'll say my 73, nothing to add at this time. Have a good one. Back to you.
VA3 TBM, TMB, sorry, VA3 TMB, VE3XBH. Thomas, thanks for checking in. Good to hear from you again, and you're making into the repeater okay, so all is good. Thomas, thanks again for joining us. We'll talk to you again. Okay, I think, I wasn't sure whether Barry said he would be there or not, but, oh, sorry, yes, yeah, VA3 WBF. Barry, any last words for the net?
VE3MIS repeater.
VE3 WBF, VE3XPH. Barry, are you with us? Okay, I guess Barry is gone. So Kevin said that he wouldn't be around. So that takes us down to Mark, VA3 HES. Mark, anything else for the net?
VE3XBH, VA3HES, 7-3 everyone, and Reg, even though I'm not a pilot, my uncle has ran a charter and flight school on Toronto Island, Island Air, for the last, nearly 30 years. And I've installed a paging system in 3 different international airports in Canada. So if you ever fly through Vancouver, Calgary, or Prince George, and you hear your flight being paged, I'm the one responsible for it. 7-3 everyone, and catch some of you, I guess, next Thursday for our club meeting, and next Tuesday on the net, live on YouTube. That's all for now. Back to you, Brian.
VA3HES, VE3XPH. Okay, Mark, sounds good, and good to hear from you, and we look forward to seeing you at the meetings, either via Zoom or in person. I don't know if I'll be at the meeting or not, but if not, I'll be checking in on Zoom. So, Mark, thanks for checking in with us again. Okay, let's go to Kevin, VA3KKY. Kevin, anything else for the net?
It would just have to be radio friendly too. It's just an extension of it, so you don't have to cut someone off and walk them. Hey, I was answering the screen. Sorry, I assume people on RF see it too. They don't, but and then sometimes it's good to repeat if like Gord or Rudy are around. They're not, so I'm really just repeating it for myself. But I hope everyone has a very good Tuesday, and we'll hook up again, I guess presumably, at least for some of us, we'll hook up again on Reggie's net on Friday. And I'll see y'all on many other places too. Take care. And enjoy what's left of Tuesday. Not much left of it. So this is VA3KKY, back to net. Good night.
VA3KKY, VE3XPH. Okay, Kevin, thanks for checking in with us, and yeah, I'll probably hear you on Friday and on Reg's net, and I'll let Reg get the plug in when it comes up to him. I'm sure he'll let us know all about what he's up to this Friday. So, Kevin, thanks again for checking in. Okay, with that, let's go to Peter, VE3 WYD. Peter, come on in.
Hello, everyone. Brian, everyone on net. Doing good here. Enjoying listening to everybody calling in. Good to hear Reg. I'll probably tune in on Friday night just to listen to them. They always have something interesting to say. Nice to hear a call in. I think it was from Texas, wasn't it? That was good to hear. So 73, everyone, good night or good morning, depending on where you are. Back to you. This is VE3WYD signing off. 73.
VE3WYD, VE3XBH. Okay, Peter. Thanks for checking in with us. And yeah, it was good to hear Bob. Bob Bob often would sit in for Reg during the net on Fridays. So his voice is quite familiar to several of us. So it's always good to hear from him. Thanks for checking in with us, Peter. With that, let's go to Brian, VA3AZA. Come on in, Brian.
Net Control, this is VA3AZA. And, well, thanks again, Brian. Good to hear you. Good to hear everyone else. And I don't really have anything else to add for 7.3, so I'll pass it back to you. VA3AZA, over to Net Control.
VA3AZA, VE3XBH. Okay, Brian, thanks for checking in with us, and always good to hear from you, and I'm sure we'll be talking again very soon. Okay, with that, let's go to Reg, VK6BQQ. Reg, come on in and let us know what you're up to on Friday.
VE3XBH in the group, VK6BQQ. Well, there's a lot on the go down here. By golly, we're trying to get involved with a bunch of folks regards to our Lancaster bomber. And as Kevin says, I believe last weekend there was some flying going on over Toronto. So I believe the Beach was up and the Lancaster and a few other aircraft. And Mark was mentioning the PA systems at the island airport, which brought me back to remembering taking the air cadets from Hamilton or Burlington, flying them into the island. And if anyone's ever flown into the island, it's like landing on an aircraft carrier. You got water on both sides, so you better make sure your brakes are working. In any event, yeah, Friday night, 8 o'clock, Eastern Standard. Friday night TechNet, it's going along well. I think we're at 1,025 this week. Last week I was away, so Tara, she's our host net controller out of Pennsylvania, she was hanging on things, so that worked out good. And coming up in March, we're going to be celebrating the Lancaster and its fleet and the people that served, past, present, and hopefully future. So things will be happening in March 2022 break. So far, we have the RAF in the UK involved with the LANC. We have Canada, the RCAF, and also our RAF, the Royal Australian Air Force, connected in with us. So it should be a hoot. We've got the wireless group down here in Perth. They're getting involved in things. And also our RAAF museum here in Bulls Creek. We've got a static Lancaster, Odie. So we'll be broadcasting from there on our Friday nights. So for those that are not up on what we do Friday nights, QRZ.com, VK6BQQ, there's a website. We'll have more information on it as things get together. But, Brian, lots on the go. So if you're so inclined, Friday nights at 8 o'clock, this very network, VK6BQQ. Good morning.
VK6BQQ, VE3XBH. Okay, Reg, sounds like you're going to be busy for the next little while, and a lot of people involved, so that's great. That's really, really good to hear. So we'll be looking forward to hearing about that and keeping our eyes open for what's going on there. I'm assuming there's going to be a special event station that we can check in. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. VE3BK Rick up in Hamilton is working with the Canadian Warplane Heritage and also obtaining a special event call sign. We're getting one down here, VK80LAN. And in Britain, I believe they've got their call already for the month of March. It'll be a GB80LAN. So similar to the event that took place here, we celebrated the 100 years of the RAAF celebration, and they sent me a nice certificate. It was a certificate of appreciation. So we'll be doing the same sort of a thing for the Lancaster. So that'll be coming up. But, yeah, lots of activity. And my wife tells me a bunch of us are hitting the rail in October. We're going to go from Perth out to Kalgoorlie, Kalgoorlie down to Esperance, Esperance over to Albany, Albany back to Perth. So that'll be during the week. Hopefully, I'll be taking my laptop and headset and whatnot and my phone. So hopefully we'll be able to do the net from one of those locations should we be there on a Saturday morning. So all sorts of things happening, Brian. We're getting old, but we're not slowing down. So all is good, sir. VE3XBH in the group, VK6BQQ.
Okay, Reg. Well, that sounds great. Good to hear all that, and you sound like you're going to be a busy man, so that's good. All good to hear, Reg. Thanks for checking in with us. Anything else before I move along?
No, I would just encourage folks to take a look at the website and join us on Friday nights. We have the Friday night Tech Net for the first hour and the Flying Pig Net for the aviators alike. So thanks for being here, Brian. Always a pleasure, and keep up the good work. 7-3, VK6BQQ Australia. Good morning.
The VK6BQQ, VE3XBH. Okay, Reg, thanks for checking in with us. Always good to hear from you. Always a pleasure. So, and I'm sure we'll be talking on Friday. So, thanks again for all that info, and I'm sure you'll keep us posted as to what's going on. Reg, thanks again. Okay, I see Bob is still up there on the screen, so KO5HGU. Bob, do you have anything else for the net tonight?
Now, Brian, I don't know whether I've got anything interesting for the net, but yeah, I'm hanging in here. I'll have to admit my eyes have shut for just a minute and listened in the background, but I really have enjoyed and glad I was able to get in tonight. My grandkids are back in school, so my Friday nights are opening up a little bit, and I've been checking in and out of Reg's net, but maybe I can get in and stay a little bit. And one of the things I remember, let me break just a minute. One of the things that I remembered about my old laptop, my old computer, crashed while I was taking treatment and all this other stuff. Just never did feel like getting it fixed. And now that we're back up on the radio, I'm going to have to get something going because I just can't get used to this phone on the Echo link and can't see the chat and hear what's going on. So I have to get one to replace that. That's about it. And Reg Tara will be a great fill-in for you. I've listened to her several times. She does a fantastic job, a whole lot better than I ever did. Anyway, that's it. Y'all take care. Enjoy the net, and hopefully we can get back in here more often. 7-3, VE3XBH, KF5HGU. 7-3, my friend, and all.
KF5HGU, VE3XBH. Okay, Bob, thanks for checking in again, and like I said, always good to hear from you, and look forward to hearing from you again. So don't be a stranger. Bob, thanks again for checking in. Okay, with that, let's go to Peter, VK6GIA. Peter, anything else for the net?
Brian, Peter has disappeared on the screen here, just over onto messenger with him, and he's doing some house chores, so he's not on the screen, but he's not here, but he sends his wishes.
Okay, Reg, thanks for that. Yeah, I just noticed he wasn't on the screen, so I guess I should have checked that first. But Reg, thanks again for that, and send him our best. Okay, with that, let's go to Gary, VE3 GDZ. Gary, anything else for the net?
Thanks there, Brian. I made it back to the radio in time, I see. Just a couple things. As Kevin pointed out, we don't have any of the other conferences linked in. We used to last season get Ham Conference, Georgia, Dewdrop in, pop in at some point. And while Reg is there, you might want to corner him to get some ideas just how to make it known to those guys that they're welcome to drop in as well to see what's happening in their neck of the woods. And I guess my second comment, I mentioned this to these special event guys, that it's pretty easy these days to simulcast a video of them talking on the net with some of the the scenes in the background of these amazing tanks. This tank weekend's coming up, and even for Reg with some of his amazing planes at the airport, it'd be nice to see him talking with those in the background. It's not hard to do on YouTube or on a free Jitsi meeting for those that can't get there in person. Anyways, thanks for running the net. This is Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary, West End of Toronto, 73s to all.
VE3 GDZ, VE3XBH. Okay, Gary, thanks for that. Thanks for checking in. And I'm just going to throw it to Reg. Reg, do you have any comments about getting the other conferences to check in with us?
V3XBH, VK6BQQ. Well, I'm just making a note here. So this Friday we will announce to the Georgia Conference and the Ham Conference and any other conference that we can to join in on your nets Tuesday. So we'll have them reconnect things as they... I guess on the Ham Conference, he was changing over into different nets and different conferences. They've been experimenting with the digital modes. So I'll just announce to them that your nets are back on, you're back into normal activity, and that we'll see what we can do to get them all connected up for you next weekend.
Okay, Reg, that sounds great. Really appreciate what you can do for us. Thanks again. VK6BQQ, this is VE3XBH. Thanks again, Reg. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list here, so I'm just going to make one last call. Are there any late check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Come now, please.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, John in Niagara.
VA3WM, VE3XBH. John, you just made it. Come on in, John.
Good evening, Brian, and everybody that's still on the net. I just ran into a technical snafu. I was listening along, and all of a sudden my connection timed out with my Echo IRLP node, and I attempted many reconnects, and no cigar. Went to my iPad, and it was all packet lost. So I'm on my Google Pixel, and I believe it's working. So good to hear you on the net, Brian, and everybody is coming back to the microphone. The Niagara Club had quite a successful, we're calling it a little event. I call it that unofficially. It was called Treasure in the Trunk. So lots of turnout,
both vendors and buyers. Weather was good. Everybody had a good time. So that's that. And we had our first in-person club meeting in one of the parks in Welland, and had a weenie roast at the beginning of it. So it was all good. It was raining, but we were undercover in a pavilion, so everything was good. So tomorrow, just a reminder, the Trans-Canada IRLP net is between 11 and 12, and it's IRLP 9013. Anybody can connect it up. Brian usually does, but he might be out and about. VE3XBH, VA3WM.
VA3WM, VE3XBH. Okay, John, good to hear from you. And well, the phone's working okay, so had no problem hearing you. So that's all good. And good to hear that things are getting a little bit closer to back to normal. So having in-person meetings and that sort of thing, and and a little flea market going on. All good, John. Good to hear from you. And I'll mention that John is the controller for the Ontario portion of the Trans-Canada IRLP net. And yes, I will be around for it, so I should have it connected up. John, anything else before we go?
No, Brian, I think that'll be about it. Sorry for coming in just at the tail end, but that's just kind of the way it worked out. So, 7-3 to everyone. Everybody stay safe and stay well. This is John, Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike in Niagara. Back to you, Brian.
VA3WM, VE3XBH. No worries, John. You're never too late. As long as somebody hears you, then no problem there. So good to hear from you, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you tomorrow. Okay, I'll just make one last call for any late check-ins. Any late check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday night net? Come now, please. Nothing heard, so I would like to thank everybody who for joining us this evening. If you have any comments, thoughts, or suggestions, you can contact us via email at VE3MIS@RAC.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra at Romeo Alpha Charlie Alpha. This is Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel, closing the net and returning the repeater to general use. Thank you all for your participation. 7-3, and stay safe.
V3XBH, VK6BQQ. Just wondering, your technical gurus there, are you working on that squelch tail that we get for Echolink?
VK6BQQ, VE3XBH. I believe it's on the list. I think Mark is doing something with it. I don't know if he's been able to get up there, but VA3HES. Mark, are you still with us?
VE3XBH and VK6BQQ. Reg, it's on the top of my list to go shorten it again. I've shortened it a bit my last visit up to the repeater site, but work has gotten quite busy the last couple weeks, thankfully, after months of sitting on my rear at home. And hopefully in the next week or two I will make another visit up to the repeater site and clamp down the tail a little bit more for you. Back to you, Brian.
it's good to get back to work after after such a long time. So quite understandable. Thanks again. VK6BQQ, Reg, you got that?
Yeah, VK6BQQ returning. Well, I wouldn't be tightening squelch up anymore because then you'll lose sensitivity. The thing has private line or CTCSS, the tone. Is that correct, Mark?
VK6BQQ, VA3HES. Reg, yes, that is correct. We have tone enabled on the repeater.
Okay, in the, I guess in your programming of the thing, you've got a controller, but somewhere in your CTSS settings, you should have a thing called reverse burst. Now, users which have mobiles or portables, base stations, they can put in reverse burst on their pieces of equipment. Now, on RF, I'm sure you understand the term reverse burst.
VA3HES returning. Roger, yes, I do understand the concept of reverse burst there, Reg.
All right, well, if you make sure that your receiver and the repeater is turned on for your CTCSS, enable a reverse burst, and encourage the folks that have the RF to do the same on their mobile, so that when they transmit, it keys up the repeater, and when they dekey, a split second goes out, and it reverses the tone sort of thing, so it clamps. But tightening up the squelch on that thing probably is not a good idea, as you'll lose your range. So try to do something with the CTSS. And if you have a portable that has reverse burst, you can use that to make sure it's working.
VK6BQQ, VA3HES. Well, yeah, I'll bring the HT with me and give it a shot on my next visit up to the repeater site.
You know, years back when all that came about, Motorola was playing with it, and we used to have vibresponders and vibrasenders, mechanical devices, and it was quite apparent that, you get quite a squelch tail. But if your squelch is set properly with PL or channel guard, whatever, if it's turned off, you can get your squelch tail set up with your squelch control. But try playing with the CTSS settings, and of course your user equipment. That should shorten the tail up and not degrade or change your RF settings. Do you have a spectrum analyzer or a signal generator?
VA3HES returning. Personally, no, but there is a few members of the club that have both a Spec A and a signal generator available that I could bring up with me to the repeater site.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful if you could obtain a signal generator, a spectrum analyzer. Take a look at things, set your receiver up, minus 21 dB, and just set your squelch control, then play with your settings. I imagine it's all programmable on the controller. QSL?
VA3HES returning. I believe it is. It's an older RLC3 controller. Though I have in the budget to, there's a new controller, I can't remember the model number off the top of my head, that's based off of a Raspberry Pi that is way easier to program, because the old RLC, you have to do it from a command line window, and you have to remember, you keep looking up all the commands. The new one's got a nice web interface, so I may save the serious tweaking till I replace the repeater controller at some point in the next few months.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, as long as you've got the test equipment available and you see what's going on here, I imagine even on RF when you use it, you get a squelch tail, but it's pretty prominent here, a couple of seconds on Echolink. So when you're doing your testing, you may want to have somebody, or if you can take a laptop up with you, hook up to Echolink and just verify RF to Echolink, Echolink back to RF, and make some measurements, do some work. Sounds good, sir. Good to hear you in here. VK6BQQ.
VK6BQQ, VA3HS. Well, thank you, Reg, and 7-3. And I'll be, I normally listen along Friday nights. I don't get much of a chance to check in, but I generally try to keep an ear on the MIS machine to make sure your net's coming in loud and clear here to Mississauga. Okay, 7-3, everyone. VA3HES clear.
Thanks, Mark. 7-3. And I'll switch over to Ham and see if John's around and see what they can do to get Ham hooked up for next week. Also try Mr. Worth down in Georgia. So I'll clear the link here and go over to the Ham network. VK6BQQ. Good morning from West Australia.
Thanks, Reg. Thanks, Mark. I'm going to clear out of here also. VE3XBH will be clear.
VE3XBH, VA3HES. Brian, before you go, can you just answer a question for me?
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
This may be the way I have something set here locally with my audio DSP, but does my voice appear to have a little bit of a slapback echo to it, or does it sound normal?
I thought it sounded normal. Just come back to me again and I'll take a little closer listen.
Okay, this is Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra performing a microphone test over the VE3MIS repeater with VE3XBH Brian listening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, Mark, I don't hear any echo in there. You sound just like you always do.
Roger, then it's something I got set dialed up here in the audio DSP I have here in the shack. I've actually managed. I'm talking through my Shure SM7, and I've figured out how to get my IC705 digitally connected to my audio DSP. So all I have is a USB cable between the rack of gear and the radio, and that's transferring the audio both in and out of the radio. And I must have the microphone signal direct still turned up in my headphones because I can hear this slight delay between the mic and the monitor feature coming back out of the radio. But thank you, Brian. 7-3, sir, and I'll catch you later.
Okay, Mark, all sounds good. Yeah, no echo here. That sounds like a neat setup you got. I don't have the RE20 going into my VHF yet, but that's something that I'm working on. But when I get to it, there's always something to do. Your shack is never complete. It's always a work in progress. So, okay, Mark, I'll say 7-3 to you. Have a good evening. VA3HES, this is VE3XBH. Will be clear.
VE3XBH, VA3HES, 7-3, Brian. Yes, shack is never finished. Talk to you soon. VA3HES, clear.